Welcome to Hilary Emmanuel Ministries, where faith meets power, purity and prosperity, and breakthroughs are born. At Diadem, we equip you with bold prayers, life-transforming teachings, and spiritual strategies to overcome every challenge life throws your way. Join us as we dive into God's Word, experience His presence like never before, and walk in His purpose for our lives. If you're in London, we invite you to fellowship with us in person at Diadem, 4 Pegamoy Road, N18 2NG. Don't forget to subscribe now and let's grow in faith together.
Brethren, if you look at the way we've been praying since we started this program, we've been dealing with a lot of things strategically here and there. We've been handling different kinds of enemies as the Lord directs and leads us. And today, brethren, we are talking on what I call killing your killers. Killing your killers. What does that mean? There are power, there are human beings, there are kingdoms, there are covens, there are foundations that will rejoice if they can kill you, that are looking for means at all costs to kill you. One thing that I hear some people say sometimes is, what did I do? What do I have? I don't even have anything. I am nobody. Why are they after me? Even if you are nobody in your own eyes, there are people that feel that you shouldn't even exist at all. It's even a problem to them. Your existence is a problem to them. So there are killers. And do you know how many people are killed every day on earth? Do you know how many people are killed? They didn't die their natural death. They didn't die on their own accord. They died by the hand of others. They were killed by others. And as such killings, if they had prayed against their killers, if they had fought against their killers, maybe they would have killed their killers before their killer will kill them. So what we are praying today is a very serious prayer. And sometimes it's not even killing people physically. In fact, a lot of people are alive, but they are already killed spiritually. They are killed already spiritually. They are still alive. They are still going up and down. But in the spirit realm, they have been killed. They have been killed. So there's a lot of killing going on earth, both physically and spiritually. And those people that are being killed, they are human beings, they are victims, they are people with destinies, but they are being cut off by before their time. And do you know that sometimes they might not even kill someone physically, but they kill every good thing in the life of that person. Kill every good thing. Kill the marriage, kill the finances, kill the career, kill the businesses, kill the job, kill every good thing that the person will touch. Kill everything. And just leave the person standing. Nothing in life, nowhere to turn to. So there are killers like that kill in different forms, that kill different things in people's lives. And you will not sit idle, brethren. You will not wait for them to kill you before you begin to react. Naturally, normally what people will do is that when they are victims of killing, other people will now begin to fight for them. But how long will they fight? What will they fight? The person that has been killed, destiny has been cut off, life has been cut short. So what kind of fight will they fight that will bring that life back? Nothing. Sometimes the destruction of this killing we are talking about in people's life in different areas, they so much destroy things that there's nothing to rebuild them again. That's the end of life. So this is a very serious issue. Killing your killers. Look at Leviticus chapter 24. Leviticus 24, look at verse 17. And he that killeth any man shall surely be put to death. This is the law. If you kill any person, that person must also be killed. But the person that has been killed already. The person has been killed, the place has been left empty and vacuum. So if you are even going to kill the person that killed, this of no much use to the person that has been killed, apart from maybe silencing the spirit or making the spirit to rest in peace. Revelation 13, look at verse 9. Revelation 13 verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Because what we are talking about is a serious thing. And when the Bible wants to say something very, very serious, you say, anyone that has an ear, let him hear. Anytime the Bible wants to say something that it does not want you to just treat it as casually as just a Bible word, it's anyone that has an ear, let him hear, which means listen carefully to what I'm saying. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. What does that imply? He said, if any person is leading you into captivity, taking you into captivity, he said you should quickly devise a means to lead that person into captivity. You should also pray and do everything that power stronger than that person will lead that person also into captivity. He said, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. He said, this is the patience and the faith of the saints. He didn't say of sinners. So he said, this is how saints are supposed to operate. He's saying their patience in everything they do, if they go quietly, this is how saints should operate. And do you know that if you still kill your killer, you will still be a saint of God? If you kill somebody that's out to kill you, and you remain and fulfill your destiny, you still be a saint of God. You still be a saint of God. So killing your killers. And it is very important. You see, I insist, let me put it this way, that you should not wait to be killed before you can do anything. Anyway, there's nothing that person can do anymore. Don't wait to be killed yet. Kill the enemy that come out to kill you. In the course of these prayers, I've shown you when we prayed about disarming your enemies. I showed you that Benaiah, that was that Egyptian, that tall, huge Egyptian that came out with a spear and a mighty thing, how he used the rod to pluck out that spear from himself and kill him with it. What would have Benaiah have done? Because the Egyptian came out with determination and intent to kill. Will Benaiah have run away? Will Benaiah have allowed him to kill him? No. You kill your killers. You kill your killers. Anyone that comes out and determined to kill you, quickly kill that person first. Don't wait, don't slack your hand, don't allow the person to waste you, to waste your destiny, to waste your life before you begin to react and regret. So kill the enemy that come out to kill you. Kill the enemy that intends to kill you. Kill the enemies that are planning to kill you. Enemies that are pronouncing death on you. Enemies that are prophesying death and destruction on you. Kill them first. Don't allow them to achieve their goal. 1 Samuel 17. Look at verse 1. 1 Samuel 17 verse 1. Now, the Philistines gathered together their armies to battle. What do you do in battle, brethren? Fight. And what do you do in fight? You kill. So obviously, this shows clearly that the Philistines came out to kill. And that means that any person that is not in their camp, that is opposite camp, that stands in their front, they will kill. So the Philistines came out deliberately to kill, and were gathered together at Shoko, which belonged to Judah, and pitched between Shoko and Azekah in Ephes-dammim. And Saul and the men of Israel were gathered together and pitched by the valley of Elah, and set the battle in array against the Philistines. When you set the battle in array, it's to start killing. Is to begin to kill. Is to start killing. And you know, brethren, many of us, the enemies have drawn the line. The enemies have declared the war against us. They've declared war against our destinies. The enemies have drawn even the first blood self. So they are out to kill. There's nothing else we need to interpret to it. The interpretation is obvious. They have demonstrated it practically that they are out to kill. They've demonstrated it. And they are not just boasting. They are following it up with action. And so now it rests upon us to react, to do the right thing, to know what to do. Not to fold our hands and allow the enemies to kill you off. Do you know, brethren, how many saints, how many believers, how many children of God are being killed every day? Some physically, some spiritually. They are being killed. And unfortunately, some of them, they have opportunity to kill their killers. They didn't do it. They have opportunity to fight and destroy their killers by prayers. They fail to do it. Those days, when I was still living in the northern part of Nigeria, and all the time, the Christian churches we build with the level of poverty and everything, contribute money and contribute. To take them years to contribute the money to build a church, maybe just a small local church. And then after a while, the enemies will come and kill their members, burn the church down, crush the walls. And then after all the whole story, everything will die down again. They will now start contributing money again. Rebuild it again after 4 or 5 years again. They will come back again, destroy everything, burn it down, kill their members. It got to a particular year. I think one radical pastor was brought then to our church then. He says that all the men, go and get your cutlass and stand in front of the church. We are going to fight this time around. He says, stand and defend the church. Enough of this nonsense. And two men brought out their cutlass and their everything, any weapon you can hold. Every person stood in the front of the church and defended the church. They couldn't come closer. They couldn't destroy the church anymore. So all those why, if they slap you in this side, turn this side, if they hit you and run and hide, if you do it, they'll just behead you. And a lot of people have been beheaded like that senselessly and needlessly because they didn't learn how to kill their killers. They didn't know that you should kill your killers. That if any man should kill you, that person must be killed also with the sword. Now, the Philistines now gathered together, and you can see they came out for war, which means any person in the camp of Judah, in the camp of Israel, that stood on their way, they will kill the person. If King Saul stood in the front, they will kill King Saul. If all the whole army of Israel stand, they will kill all of them. So they came out to kill. Now look at what followed. Verse 3. And the Philistines stood on a mountain on the one side, and Israel stood on a mountain on the other side. And there was a valley between them. And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. Why did they go and bring this kind of creature into the battlefront? It's because they know he's a specialist in killing. Why do your enemies have to spend their money to go to sorcerers, to go to diviners, to go to spiritualists that have the capability to summon people's spirit and kill them? Why are they spending such money? Why are they making such heavy sacrifices? It's because they want to kill. They want to kill. And if you do not know how to fight this kind of warfare, God forbid they will just waste the life of that person. They want to kill. And unfortunately, a lot of times we just hear, oh, so brother has died. Oh, he has gone to heaven. Was there any time he was not going to heaven before? Did he not repent so that he will go to heaven? Was his name not written in the book of life so that he will go to heaven? If he spent 100 years, will he not go to heaven? So this is what we sometimes do not understand. A lot of killers are out there, and they are just creating victims that are defenseless, that cannot help themselves, that cannot fight back. So why did they bring this kind of creature into the battlefront? And the Bible, the camera of the Bible focused on him because he was strange from the rest people. The rest people were normal soldiers. They now went and brought this. You don't know whether it's a demon, whether it's a human being, whether it's a monster. You don't know what it is, and brought it and put it in the front of the battle. Why? Let's see what happened. Verse 5. And he had an helmet of brass upon his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail. And the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass. And he had greaves of brass upon his legs, and targets of brass upon between his shoulders. And the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam. And his spear's head weighed 600 shekels of iron. And one bearing a shield went before him. Why do they have to prepare this creature like this? So that no person can destroy him. So that they are so confident that if he can stand in that battlefront, even if it's to be swinging that his spear, swinging it like this, he will wipe Israel out if they come. So they deliberately prepare, and look at the preparation. Verse 8. And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and ye servants of Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me, if he be able to fight with me, and to kill me. So they know this for killing. They are out there for killing. He said, I'm looking for somebody that can kill me. Then will we be your servant? But if I prevail against him and kill him. So it's all about killing. What is going to decide the fate of the nations here, brethren, is the killing. Is the killing. Then shall ye be our servants and serve us. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. When Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistine, they were dismayed. You know, sometimes we don't hear what our enemies are saying. If you hear them, you will be dismayed. You don't get to hear what is going on behind you. In your enemy's camp, we don't hear them. We don't hear them. We don't hear their discussions. We don't hear their plans. We don't hear their boasting. We don't hear their strategies. If you hear them, brethren, you will be dismayed. So, but this man was shouting, standing on the hill, the other side, shouting, and so all Israel could hear that this man is out to kill. And they were dismayed, and they were greatly afraid. Now, David was the son of the Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons. And the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. And the 3 eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle. And the name of his 3 sons that went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn, and next to him was Abinadab, and the third was Shammah. And David was the youngest. And the 3 elders followed Saul. But all of them were useless in the army anyway. They're just following him up and down. But David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. And the Philistine drew near morning and evening. This is serious. Morning and evening. Have you seen where enemies are operating like that? Enemies that know that you are helpless. Enemies that know that you are dismayed already. Enemies that know that you are afraid already. And then they can continue to they continue to harass you morning, evening. Every day they will come. Every evening they will come. They will not give you can't sleep anymore. If you try to close your eyes, they will come in the dream. If you open your eyes, you'll be seeing them in the vision. Morning, evening. Why? Because they thought that, yes, we'll surely kill these people. Those are your killers. Those are the killers. So the Philistine was doing it morning, evening, and presented himself 40 days. Hey, 40 good days. Do you see? Just like this program we are doing. 40 good days he was coming out morning, evening, and insulting Israel, making them to be afraid and dismayed. Verse 17. And Jesse said unto David his son, and now Israel was afraid to die. King Saul couldn't go forward. And go all of them that are there, all of them, no person can go forward. And this one was just there sitting upon their destiny. Sitting upon their lives, sitting upon the whole nation. One man. And Jesse said unto David his son, take now for thy brethren an ephah of this parched corn, and these 10 loaves, and run to the camp to thy brethren, and carry these 10 cheese unto the captain of their 1,000, and look how thy brethren fare, and take their pledge. Now Saul and all the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Philistines. And David rose up early in the morning, and left the sheep with a keeper, and took and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the trench as the host was going forth to the fight, and shouted for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage, and ran into the army, and came and saluted his brethren. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the abyss of the Philistines, and spake according to the same word. And David heard them, the same word he has been using for 40 days. This time around, David was there to hear it. Sometimes there's a way your enemy will treat you, you get used to it. He has been saying the same word, boasting the same thing for 40 days. So Israel was getting used to it. They were acclimatizing. So David was hearing it for the first time. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, they fled. Every person ran from him and were so afraid. And the men of Israel said, have you seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. Do you know, with all this kind of price put on the head of Goliath, you will marry the king's daughter, they will make you rich and great, your family will be free, and so on. But do you know there's no person to go forward? All of them are looking at the reward, looking at the mountain, no person to go forward. They couldn't try it. Verse 26. And David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? Listen, sometimes the enemy might not even kill you outrightly, but they turn your life to a reproach. Turn it to a reproach. Say, this person that is bringing this kind of reproach. For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God? And the people answered him after this manner, saying, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him. And Eliab his eldest brother heard when he spake unto the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, why camest thou down hither? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thy heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. And David said, what have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him towards another, and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after this former manner. And when the words were heard, which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. So this time around, there's not, so they're just looking for a solution anywhere, because a killer was standing in their front. A killer that can take all their life the next minute is right there standing before them. So any solution that is suggested, whether it's from a child, they will listen to it by force. So Saul sent for him. Verse 32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth. Say you are a small boy. Young boy, say soldiers, yes, soldiers cannot fight. You are a youth. And he, a man of war from his youth. Say that man you are looking at, they have been using him different battles. He has wiped out nations. He's a killer. He's a great destroyer as you are looking at him standing there. He said from his youth, that's how he has been fighting. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep. David said that he has been walking with sheep. And as he was walking with his father's sheep, there came a lion. What does the lion come to do? To kill. To kill. And what did David do? Did David run away? No. He said the lion and a bear, and they took a lamb out of the flock. And I went after him and smote him and delivered out of his mouth. And when he arose up against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. You kill your killers, anything, whether they turn to animal, you have to kill your killers. Whether they turn to any creature, serpent, don't allow them to kill you first. So he said, look at what I did. When that thing came, I just killed it immediately. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he has defied the army of the living God. David said, moreover, the Lord has delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear. He will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto him, David, go, and the Lord be with thee. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail. And David gathered his sword upon his armor, and he tried to go, for he had not proven it. And David said to Saul, I cannot go with this. I can't even move, for I have not proven them. And David put them off him. And he took his staff in his hand, and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in a shepherd's bag which he had, even in his scrip, and his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. Now one has to kill the other. No escape, no going anywhere. Now 2 killers are facing each other. You just have to kill your killer before he kills you. And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he couldn't even find the person that was coming to fight. He was looking everywhere. He looked around. Where is he? Where is he? So he now saw David on the ground. So he looked around and saw David. He disdained him, for he was but a youth and ruddy, and of a fair countenance. And the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog, that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. Listen, I told you that killing might not even be physical alone. There are people that curse you, pronounce curses. What kind of curse? Curse of death. Curses of death. They curse the person to die. They pronounce before their gods. Before their gods. There are people that sacrifice to their gods. To their gods. Sometimes, brethren, the life we live inside, there are some parables you hear some people say. They say it's a place where animal eat animal. They are referring to human beings. It's a place where one animal has to eat another animal to survive. The world has turned like a jungle. I told you this story before of this young man. His father is known to be terribly wicked. Terribly wicked. He had only how many boys? About how many children? Up to 8 children. Only 1 girl. Out the rest, they are all boys. If you see how this man uses and he's into sorcery, terrible sorcery, and he all his money, he was making a lot of money, but he was spending everything on sorcery, destroying people's lives, even his own children's lives. That's what he was doing. And he was maltreating their mother. His children were grown up. His children were in their 50s and so on. But he was still maltreating their mother, dealing with their mother so terribly. And one of the sons came back one day and challenged him. If you see what he did with that one, he did the sorcery against that one, that the spot there, the mouth of that one turned backward. That one was looking for somebody to help him. The mouth twisted. So one other one that was living in Kaduna then, that one came home And the mother cry, and when you hear the cry, old woman, but this man will still maltreat that old woman. And the woman reported that, look at what this man is doing, look at what. And that one was somehow boisterous and went and challenged that man. If he had known what stopped him from using cutlass and behead him at once, because he left him after doing that thing, the man went to his God, to his idol, to his deity, and made a vow to that deity that if they bring the dead body of that boy back, he will kill a goat for that idol. And then the boy now, because the boy was selling palm oil, he would go to Kaduna, carry palm oil from Go and all those things. He came back, loaded palm oil into truck, was going to Kaduna, the truck had accident, the boy died there. It was when the boy died and the news came back home, his wife was the one that shouted and called the whole village. The wife shouted, the wife said she had him when he was making that vow to that idol. That this is the new wife, not the one he was maltreating. The new wife he married was the one that told the whole village that look at what I had him, how he was praying and talking to that idol. That if they bring the dead body back, he will kill a goat for that idol. So, if that boy had known, even if it is physical violence, kill your killer. That boy is gone now. He's gone. Everything closed. He didn't even marry himself before he died. No child, nothing. Just close that chapter. Close that chapter. The rest children, no man dare stand before that man. So if you have somebody like that you see, when Goliath came, he's a ruddy boy, a young boy. He said, why are you coming with staff? You don't even have sword self. You don't even have anything. No javelin, nothing. No armor bearer carrying a shield before you and all those kind of a thing. He would have thought that I will use leg to kick you off. But he didn't think of this. He went spiritual immediately and started to curse him with his God, with his idol. So what was he saying? He was telling his God to kill David. To kill David for him. So to say that the Philistine cursed David by his gods, verse 44. And the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. Is that not killer? So his determination, his intention and his goal is to give the flesh to the fowls and to the beasts of the field. And then take the whole nation of Israel captive and they become his servant. Then said David to the Philistine, thou comest to me with the sword, and with a spear, and with a shield. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. So David also had to go spiritual immediately. So David did not say, it's not even me you are talking to. No. He also switched spiritual. Because before he talked about killing David, he felt cursed by his God. He felt used his idol to curse David. So David also has to reply by his God, by his own power. Dealt with him spiritually also. Verse 46. After David presented his God, it's now, this day will the Lord deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee, and take thy head from thee, and I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. So it's now, they went spiritual, both of them. So if your killer, intended killers, they are going spiritual, you better be more spiritual than them. Verse 47, and all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. And it came to pass when the Philistines arose, so the battle now started. Let's see who is going to kill who. And came and drew nigh to meet David, that David also hasted and ran towards the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead. He was not expecting that. He was expecting his whole heart to be, let me see how you are going to come. Are you going to come and stand on my leg? Everywhere in my leg is guarded with iron. Everywhere is covered with iron. Are you coming to throw javelin? We don't even have javelin. You don't even have sword. Let me see how you are going to fight this battle today. So he was running to make a show. And David now surprised him. He used the stone and the sling, and the thing sunk into his forehead. And it fell upon his face to the earth. So David, what has David done now, brethren? He has killed his killer. He has killed his killer. Person coming to kill him, that boasted he will kill him, that boasted to give his flesh to the bears. He has killed his killer, brethren. That's how to do it. And how I wished that David had continued killing his killers like this. How I wished. Because if you don't kill your killers quickly, it could make battles to prolong. Look at what David did here. He slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof and slew him and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. And the men of Israel and Judah rose and shouted and pursued the Philistines until thou come to the valley and to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded and the Philistines fell down by the way to Sheraim, even unto Gath and unto Ekron. And the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines, and they spoiled their tents. And David took the head of the Philistines and brought it to Jerusalem. He brought the head to Jerusalem. Brethren, do you know that the Lord will give you the head of your enemies today? Because that's how it is written, that the Lord shall give you the neck of your enemies, that you might destroy them that hate you. Why is he handing over the neck of your enemies to you? Listen, brethren, why is God showing you deep revelations? Why is he not speaking to you in parables? Why is he showing you plain messages, plain visions? So that you will understand who your enemies are. So that you know that you have to kill your enemy before they kill you. So that you'll be able to kill your killers. And you'll be able to carry their heads and lift up their head as your trophy. So David carried the head all the way. You can imagine what, it's not a small job. Oh. The head of a giant, you know, is more than the head of a cow. He carried that head. Maybe we put it in a bag, or look for rope to tie it and drag it on the ground. I don't know how he's going to do it. To carry the head of a giant from that place they were fighting that battle down to Jerusalem. He carried that head because that head is so important. That head is the trophy of Israel. Is to the glory of the God of Israel. That trophy, they must present it. They must surround it and dance. Every person must see the neck, the head of the enemy of it that want to kill every person in Israel. That came out to take all the whole nation captive. So he carried the head, and then he now hid the armor in his tent because he will need it for another battle. He will need it for another fight. This is how I expected David to be operating. To be killing his killer, but somehow along the way, he changed. Why? He changed because he thought that enemies at home are different from enemies outside. No! Enemy is enemy, killer is killer. If the killer is a Philistine and wants to kill you, is it not the same thing as killer in your father's house that want to kill you? Is it not the same death? Is it not the same killing? Whether it's a Philistine, whether it's an Israel, a Judah person, it doesn't make any difference. So this now affected David later. Because when he now found a household enemy that is close by, he didn't know anymore how to kill his killers. He spared his killers. He left his killers. He allowed his killers to go free. And that was why he suffered for too many years. That was why his battle prolonged for so long. Because he allowed this. Look at it in 1 Samuel 24. 1 Samuel 24. Look at verse 1. And it came to pass, when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, behold, David is in the wilderness of En-Gedi. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel, and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goats. So they were looking for them to do what? What did they want to do to him? To kill him. To kill him. For a whole king to abandon everything he was doing and be looking for a small boy, looking for David. Don't you see that there's trouble? If they found him, they will kill him. So Saul has turned to a potential killer. A killer looking for David to kill him. How do we know? Because when David escaped and collected that sword from the priest, and they told Saul that the priest gave him that sword, he went there and wiped out the family of that priest. Wiped them out. So he has started killing. He's a killer. So look at verse 3. And he came to the sheepcotes by the way, where was a cave. And Saul went in to cover his feet. And David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. They didn't know David was close by. So he went into the cave to lie down to rest. And the men of David said unto him, behold, take note now, these are people that understood. How I wish David had listened to this advice. The men said, behold, the day of which the Lord said unto thee, behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thy hand, that thou mayest do to him as it has been seemed good unto thee. So they even reminded him the promises of God. That this is that thing God was saying, no. that I will hand over your enemies to you so that you will do them as you like. And what do you expect? What do you think God is expecting from you? What do you think God wants you to do to your enemies? He wants you to slaughter them. He wants you to kill them. They say, remember the word of God. Remember those promises God told you, that I will give you your enemies and you will do to them as you like. Look at what David chose, how David liked it. Then David arose and Saul's robe privately, secretly, cut off the skirt of his robe. This is somebody that came out determined to kill you. And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him because he had cut off Saul's skirt. And he said unto his men, the Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, the Lord's anointed, to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of the Lord. So David stayed his servants with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. So his servant wanted to kill Saul immediately. His servant wanted to slaughter the man. So, but Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also rose afterward and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, my Lord, the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stood with his face to the earth and bowed himself. That's that kind of slavish obeisance I was talking about yesterday. Slavish obeisance, even to the enemies. Even to the enemies. He bowed himself to the ground. And do you think that will change your enemies? You think the enemies will now repent and go home and say, okay, no more, you will not die again. And David said to Saul, wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, behold, David seeketh thy heart. Behold, this day thy eyes have seen how that the Lord has delivered thee today into my hand in the cave, and some bade me kill thee. But my eyes spared thee. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord, for he is the Lord's anointed. Moreover, my father, see the skirt of thy robe in my hand, for in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe and killed thee not. Know thou and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against thee, yet thou huntest my soul to take it. Do you see that? You see, I know you came out into the wilderness here to hunt for my soul. If you were the one that had this opportunity with me, you will not leave me alone. Brethren, that's one thing you must think. If your enemies have chance, they have the opportunity, you think they will spare your life? Never. They will not. The mistake they made in the time past, they are regretting it now, sir. The mistake of leaving you alive. The mistake of just stripping you of destiny, stripping you of glory and every good thing and leaving you to be alive. They are regretting it today. Why they didn't kill you in the days of ignorance. So what are we saying in essence? Do not wait until the enemies have chance that they will not repent of. I've told you that the killing might not be all the time physical. Sometimes it is spiritual. Like that brother that was sharing with me. He said that he had a dream. And of course, you can't forget that kind of dream in life. Even if you forget all your dreams, you can't forget that one. He said he had a dream. And in that dream, he saw his enemy. And the enemy prevailed against him in that dream. And then cut off his head. So they beheaded him in that dream. They took away the head. Is that not beheaded destiny? They've beheaded his destiny. They didn't kill him physically, he's still alive. But they have finished him already. Spiritually, he has no head. They've removed his head. They've removed his destiny. That is what you call killers. Killers. And if you have the opportunity and you cry to the Lord and the Lord gives you their neck, you can't spare them. Don't allow any person to use any kind of theology to convince you. You can't spare them. Because they are your killers. They are not your friends. They are not your friends. They are not your friends. There are some other ones that will kill physically. That will kill physically. Like that one I shared with you before. And I told you how that somebody shared with me that they went for a funeral. Here. He said it was a young man. And the young man, you know, these young men that think that they are very clever and sharp. I was dating one nurse that is working hard in this country. I was dating her and possibly collecting her money, giving her hope. And then after a while, you think you want to play clever, want to move on, want to just bring up any excuse and break the relationship. And that one told him, you can't do that with me. You can't do that. And they quarreled, they fought, and all those kind of a thing. So in the night, the man had a dream. He had a dream. And the nurse came in her nursing uniform and said, let me quickly give you injection. Because nurses, they give injection. They are good at it. That's what they are trained for. But this one is not ordinary nurse. This is a witchcraft nurse. So he decided to turn his back and gave him injection in the buttock. The following morning, the man was already in trouble. The man woke up that dream from that sleep in trouble. Within the next few hours, the man was dead. He was just crying. See, it's also personal that gave him injection in the dream, and that was too late. He's already killed. It's too late. So assuming the man was a Christian and he knew what he was doing, and the Lord is showing you, look at this person. He's after your life. Look at this person. Don't joke with this person. Don't joke with. When God is showing you your killers, don't joke with them. Whether they are killing your business, killing your destiny, killing your finances, killing your ministry, killing your health, killing things in your life, killing your prayer points, even your prayer expectations, everything you are doing in life, they kill every good thing. And today we are going to cry out unto our God. We are going to cry that he will arise for us. We are going to cry that he will give us the necks of all our intended killers that want to kill us at all costs. And those who have even killed good things in our lives already, who have killed important things in our lives, that today is the day that we have to kill our killers. Let's close our eyes. Close your eyes and say, my Father, this is a serious matter. And this is about my life. This is about my life. Oh God, my Father, don't allow my enemies to kill me. If this is the only prayer point, brethren, we pray throughout today and pray till even till tomorrow, it's good. My God and my Father, this is my life. Please, Lord, don't allow my enemies to kill me.
Thank you for watching. If this message blessed you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to join our growing community of faith. You've just listened to the sermon, but there are powerful prayers that follow. Due to social media rules and guidelines, the prayers have been removed from this video. However, you can access the full prayers and more life-changing resources by visiting www.pastorhillary.org or downloading our app, Diadem Media. If you're in the London area, we'd love to have you fellowship with us in person at 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. If you have any questions about this message, want counseling from Pastor Hillary, or wish to share your testimonies following the prayers, please leave a comment below and someone from our team will get in touch. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly and guide you in all your ways. Stay victorious.